Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Sir.
All right. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense? So is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court will do. As previously stated, the court is finding there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. Are you Andrew Drago?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. On June 30th, you entered a plea of no contest to the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on counts 1 and 2. There's punishment to be assessed at a cap of 5 years. There's $2,500 fine, affirmative finding of deadly weapon, and the state is silent on your application. And there's a no contact order that's outside the agreement. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any objections, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Are there any witnesses, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes, I'll call the defendant.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All right.
Your Honor.
You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Matthew Andrew Drogo.
All right. Defense?
Mr. Hidrogo, we're here asking the court for probation, deferred adjudication today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be asking you some questions. I'd like you to answer them directly and truthfully, okay? At the time of this offense, you were homeless. Is that correct?
So,
And make sure you speak out loud.
yes, sir.
Okay. And looking through the PSI, I suspect that you've been homeless for quite some time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You have, respectfully, you have an extensive criminal history, particularly with respect to misdemeanors. And it appears that most of those were for theft or criminal trespass.
Yes, sir.
Is that because you were homeless during those times?
Yes, sir.
You do have some felonies, but it looks like you've never been to TDC, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've been to state jail, however, on 3 times.
Yes, sir.
And were those for offenses related to your homelessness as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long in your life, give or take, have you been homeless?
Maybe like 10 years, sir.
Okay. Any particular reason why?
No, sir, just I'm an adult, a corona hit me and my family, and I became homeless.
Okay. Now, there's a few things that I want to speak to that the PSI addresses, okay? Now, in the PSI, you correct? You state that you were acting in self-defense.
Yes, sir.
However, you chose to plead to this and not proceed to jury trial because you did not feel the jury would believe your defense. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I spoke to you about that again this morning. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you persist that you do not want a jury trial because of the fact that you don't believe the jury will believe your defense. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Also, the PSI mentions that you are a confirmed gang member. And to that, how do you respond?
No, sir, I'm not confirmed.
Deferred adjudication. You're potentially looking at let me start over. They're just saying that you have to be careful what you ask for. And potentially, if the judge gives you deferred adjudication and you violate that deferred adjudication, the court could at that time sentence you up to 20 years in prison versus the 5 years, which is the maximum today. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So you understand that if you are asking for deferred adjudication and you get it, you better do everything that's asked of you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be able to do what's asked of you, especially considering the fact that you've been essentially homeless for the last 10 years?
Yes, sir.
Would you remain homeless if the court gives you deferred adjudication, or do you have plans?
No, sir. I got a place to stay
Respectfully, why have you not stayed with her up to now?
because I was trying to look for a job, but I was homeless, so I had to keep her safe from corona because I probably thought I had corona too. But I guess I don't have it. Yeah.
So, but going forward, if you're given an opportunity on deferred adjudication, you've decided and your mom has agreed that you'll reside with her.
Yes, sir.
How will you be able to make your meetings with probation?
I'll try to look for a job and just do everything probation asks me, like whatever they ask me.
What type of work are you able to do?
Probably a temporary service jobs like pay setters and stuff like that.
Pay setters?
Yeah.
What is that?
That's like a temporary service.
Okay.
Sure.
Um,
I was working a little bit at a job called Amigos, 26 in West Commerce. It's like they do beans and stuff for the HEBs and stuff.
like food service?
Yes, sir.
So you would be able to do food service work?
Yes, sir.
And okay. Is there a number of different types of jobs that you're able to do?
I could do jobs.
Okay. The PSI, specifically the TAP, does not show that any drug treatment is necessary at this time. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
You don't have a substance abuse disorder.
No, sir.
Is there anything else you want the court to know?
No, sir.
I'll pass. Stay silent and I'll pass the witness.
Just briefly, Your Honor, Sir, Mr. Jargon, the two times that you were given felony probation, you were given probation, but then you were revoked off your probation. Is that correct? One in 2009 for burglary of a building. Do you recall that?
I can't remember what. I think so, sir.
And then also evading arrest second, back in 2014. You were revoked in 2014 and revoked in 2009. Do you recall that?
Can't remember. Yes, sir. I think so.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
No questions, Karen.
All right, I have a few questions. What gang are they alleging that you belong to?
Oh, they're trying to say I'm a Sureño.
Why would they say that?
13, because they said I had a 13 on my stomach.
What's significant about the number 13 for you that you would tattoo it on your stomach?
It's just like I don't got it tattooed. It was just like a number I got when I was younger. But it's like a lucky number. It's not a gang thing. Like it's different stuff. It's just a number for like.
So why all the numbers would you put that on there?
Because it's for my name, Matthew. It's M2 for middle initial Matthew. Just a lucky number 13. I'm not affiliated, Your Honor.
Yeah, I don't know many people who just put 13 on their bodies because they think it's lucky. Unless they're gambling, and I don't think 13 is a lucky number when you gamble. So why is it you can't hold a job for longer than 6 months?
Because I was trying to apply for SSI checks, Your Honor. Mental disability. When I was in school, I was getting SSI checks. I was in behavior improvement special ed classes when I was growing up.
There are a lot of people who are in special ed classes. They don't qualify for SSI. So again, we're back to this point because what you told your attorney was COVID hit and all these other things happened. And that is why you were homeless.
Yes, Your Honor.
But I don't know how you can not be homeless if you're only working 6 months at a time. So again, we're back to the question of why is the longest job you've ever had has been for 6 months?
Because I had it for 6 months and then I stopped and just became homeless.
So basically your homelessness was a choice because you stopped working at whatever job you had. You stopped working at 6 months. So what ends up happening is you have a job for 6 months. Did you have a bank account?
Oh, Your Honor.
So you have a job for 6 months. You have no savings and you decide to quit your job. in the hopes of getting SSI.
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't, and you end up homeless.
Yeah, I didn't get it because they had me on hold. They said I signed out the papers and everything, but they said it would take anywhere from like a year. I was waiting for like a year, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Drago, I'm focusing on why you're homeless because you're making it seem as though you're homeless because things happened to you, not because you did certain things. So it appears to the court, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, you're homeless because you wanted to be homeless. You had a job, you have been working it for 6 months, you decide to quit that job, you have no money in your bank account.
I thought I had corona, but I didn't have it, Your Honor.
So you didn't have corona.
Yeah.
So then that excuse is out the window.
That's when I got in trouble.
So you were just homeless basically because you wanted to be homeless.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now let's get to the next question. So the complainants in this case, were they eating at a restaurant?
No, Your Honor, they're pulling up to a restaurant.
All right, so they're pulling up to a restaurant and you disturb them, asking them for money to support you, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you're homeless and you don't want to work. So you want to get money from people who are trying to just go to a restaurant and enjoy their meal in peace, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, how old is your mother?
My mother, she's like 50 something. I'm not so sure, Your Honor.
All right, so you don't know how old your mother is. What's her date of birth?
Oh, Your Honor.
Do you know what day it is?
It's 4/27.
So you're saying she was born in April?
I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know when she was born. I don't know. She's like 56, 57.
How old are you?
Me, I'm 37.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing from the statement.
Anything else? Any other questions?
No questions, Judge, but I am asking that you give him a chance for deferred adjudication. If not, I'm asking that you respectfully consider the minimum 2-year TDC sentence.
All right. Is there anything else you wish to say, Mr. Idrago?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The court is going to find you guilty in count 1 and count 2. Court is going to sentence you to 5 years in the prison in each count. Each count will run concurrent, be credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Isreak, Isreak, Nirakes, Nirakes, and Emmanuel. Is this spelled correctly in here? Because it's being spelled as Emmanuele. I'm sorry, Ley. Just one moment. I don't think that's spelled correctly.
Nnanuel.
So there's to be no contact with Emmanuel Morales. And that's Morales. There's a $2,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. You need to make better choices. Get employed. If we want stuff, we have to work for it. I know people think it's okay to come up to people and ask them for money, but sometimes people don't want to be bothered. They're just trying to spend time with their family. You understand?
Yeah.
Good luck. Can I have parties approach for the record?
Miranda Carrillo for the state.
Patrick Valentine for David Newman.
And are you David Newman? Are both parties ready to proceed on this motion to revoke?
State is ready.
This is Brian.
All right, Mr. Newman, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same David Matthew Newman who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 0689 for the offense of possession of child pornography on February 1st, 2022 for a term of 10 years? Is that you?
Yeah.
State?
Yes, the state is proceeding under the original motion to revoke condition number 13B on or about the 6th day of September 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, David Matthew Newman, Community Supervision and Corrections Department, Sex Offender Program, and that the defendant failed to comply with the instructions of Lone Star Offender Treatment Program, his court-ordered sex offender treatment program, and that the defendant was suspended from sex offender treatment for failing to abide by treatment program rules in violation of condition 13B.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, ma'am.
State?
And condition 13H, on or about the 12th day of September 2022 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, David Matthew Newman, did then and there fail to comply with the instructions of the Bexar County Community Supervisions and Corrections Department Sex Offender Program, and that the defendant was in possession of pornographic materials in violation of condition 13H.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? State?
And lastly, the state is proceeding under condition 16 on or about the 21st day of September 2022, comply with chapter 62 requirements in violation of condition 16.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, ma'am.
The state's waiving the remainder, Your Honor.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No objection, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violations 13B, 13H, and 16, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 10 years in the prison, and up to a $1,500 fine? Did you understand?
I understand.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to 13B, 13H, and 16?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find 13B, 13H, and 16 true. Is there an agreement?
There is an agreement, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
Revocation and a sentence of 6 years TDC.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. With regards to allegation number 16, is that child or is that a different type of pornography?
That is,
Adult pornography?
yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. The court is going to grant the motion, revoke you, sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. There's to be chapter 62 registration. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have a limited right to appeal, and that's as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on community supervision. Do you understand? All right. Good luck to you.
Good.
Yes,
The deal was for
please. Okay. Thank you. State of Texas versus Jules Alonzo. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Debbie Cruz on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Ray Lopez for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Jules Alonzo?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Alonzo, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes,
Did you understand you're charged with possession? I'm sorry, you're charged with theft under $2,500 enhanced. That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Alonso, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I have parties approach? All right, the cause number that it's having me taken in consideration is what she's pleading on. Does she have an outstanding case?
She has two cases, Judge, 5, 6, 7, 5.
All right, and to the clerk, I need the other file on Miss Alonso, 2022 CR 7776. All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, Ms. Alonso, the state is asking that your punishment be assessed at 6 months in the state jail facility. They're taking in consideration 2022 CR 7776. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Counselor, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No problem.
State, any evidence?
At this time, the state introduces State's Exhibit Number 1 and all of its attachments, Your
Any
Honor.
objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may be excused to continue to confer. Ms. Alonso, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and she's in yellow because,
I'm
is she pregnant?
Yes.
All right, so why should I follow this agreement? Because 3 times she's been stealing and she's still stealing. And this time she's stealing greeting cards. So why should I follow this agreement?
Well, yeah, Your Honor, she's had an issue, a problem. She's pregnant right now. She's hopeless, not any dependencies or substance abuse, and she's asking for serve her time. And,
All right, what's your substance addiction? All right, so when did you stop using heroin?
They put me on methadone.
So you're currently on methadone. I always tell people, and I've done treatment courts, I've done studies, methadone is still a drug.
Yeah, I understand that.
So what are your levels on the methadone?
I'm on 30 milligrams.
All right, is Child Protective Services involved?
I'm not yet.
When are you due?
11/6 of this year.
Okay. All right, so I'm not going to follow this plea. If she wants probation, I will give her probation, and she's going into somebody's treatment program. I'm not going to have somebody out here having a child, and the child is going to end up being addicted to methadone. Let's just go ahead and say that right now, because if she's taking methadone, the baby's taking methadone. And depending on what level she's at on methadone, she's going to get out of state jail felony. She may start back using heroin. I don't know. I'm going to do my part. So hopefully the baby won't be born addicted. Have you ever seen a baby that's been addicted to
No, I have 2
substance?
kids and they've never been addicted.
Yeah. Well, by the grace of
God.
whoever. I'll just put it that way, because we have a separation of church and state here. But what I do know is that when babies are born addicted to drugs, they have withdrawals just like adults do. The only difference is that baby doesn't know why they're having withdrawals.
It wasn't my decision to get on methadone.
Hmm?
It wasn't my decision to get on methadone. They put me on methadone as soon as I came in.
Well, here's the thing. It was your decision to use whatever drugs you were using, which was heroin. So that's all your decision. It's your decision to continue to pick up theft cases, knowing that you have 2 other children that you're supposed to be supporting. Where are those 2 children?
For my mom.
Yes. So your mom, instead of being a grandmother, she's happened to be a mother. Was Child Protective Services involved?
Yeah,
All right. So were your rights terminated?
no,
All right. So I am not following this plea bargain agreement. If she wants probation, I'll give her probation, but I'm not following the plea bargain agreement for 6 months. She can either do 1 year at the state jail facility, or either she can be on probation for 4 years. The choice is hers.
We'd like to.
All right. Thank you.
I'd rather be.
Yeah. Okay. You never mind, just rather take the probation.
I'd rather do probation, so that way I can.
All right. So we're going to put this on the record. So have you had a chance to confer with your attorney?
Just right now.
All right. Have you had sufficient time to confer with your attorney?
Yeah,
Have probation, or do you wish to consider the state jail facility for 1 year?
I'd rather do probation so I can see if I can be at least try to be a parent.
All right. Any objections from the state
No, Your Honor.
defense? So is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court will do. As previously stated, the court is finding there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. Taking in consideration 2022 CR 7776. I'm going to want intensive parenting classes.
I'd like to thank you.
There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation while in custody. I'm going to run a referral to felony drug court while in custody. And since the day is Monday, felony drug court will probably be able to see you this week. You need to be honest with them. You understand?
Okay.
If she's not accepted for felony drug court, and if the TAP evaluation says she's to do inpatient treatment, then she's doing inpatient treatment. I'm going to want regular reporting by Zoom or in person. I'm sorry, strike that. Do the UA hotline. And she needs to be tested at least once a week. And probation, please keep track of her methadone levels. They should not be going up. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month until further notice. And probation, if you can make sure that they check to make sure that there are no children unsupervised at the location. And probation, if you want the field visits to count as her reporting, that can count as reporting. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. 200 hours of community service restitution. Those will be waived once parenting classes are completed. And CPS compliance if applicable. Probation, is there anything that I've missed? Is there anything you need from the court in order to be successful?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry?
I don't think so.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, and I'm sorry, also refer it to Esperanza Court as well, because of what I've seen in the background. So if felony, and that's to be while in custody, doesn't take you, then Esperanza Court will take you.
Okay.
All right. All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Alonzo, here's your chance. You got to go on the straight and narrow. You can't be stealing, because who knows, you may end up with a different judge, different prosecutor, different attorney. You understand?
Yes.
So If you want to be a mom in your children's life, you got to be a mom that they can be proud of. And when I say proud of, children will tease each other. You need to be that parent that your children will be proud to say, that's my mom, instead of being on the bus and hiding their head because they don't want anybody to know you're their mom. Okay. You still have a chance to do it, to get your life together. Good thing your mom has your children. Hopefully that's a safe place and it's a safe place. So now's the time for you to get your act together. You understand? Both felony drug court and Esperanza court are good programs. All right.
I've been asking for help, but I always just get them spread.
Oh, well, here's your help.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you.